In February of 2020, as the pandemic was beginning, I was ratcheting up my coaching business and I decided to stop watching television until the pandemic had run its course. At the time, even though I took the virus and its spread very seriously, I was pretty sure that by summer, all would be well. Okay, I'm not an epidemiologist. My reasoning was simply that if I got sick, I would probably watch a lot of TV while I was recovering. And so I did not watch television news, which meant my level of political and virus anxiety was not constantly being fanned by 24-hour news cycles. And I did not watch TV series or movies or Netflix, which meant I had an extra couple of hours per day, maybe more, to put into coaching my clients, getting coached, studying, reading, writing, taking care of my health, hanging with my husband and hiking most days, and learning the ropes of Zoom calls and building my website. None of these things was earth-shaking. Nothing was huge. It was gradual. It was long before my podcast, before most of my clients started with me, and before I had decided to try and serve the vegan and plant-based communities. I had about 50 followers on Instagram, and I hadn't developed my methodology or coaching program or even come up with the name Vedge Your Best. In the time that I had been spending on TV, I basically built a brand new business. My friend Tina particularly loves when I quote Seneca. So, begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life. Thanks, Seneca. Could you get as excited about what you do today and each day as when you've reached your goal, your life goal? Let's find out. There's no time to waste. Hello, Vedge Heads, Vedge Your Besties. Welcome to Vedge Your Best, the plant-based podcast. My name's Michele Olander. I'm a certified life coach, a practicing vegan, and I'm here every single week to encourage you to eat more plants and set an impossible goal, whatever that is for you. So we're on Vedge Your Best, episode 39, inspired by Seneca to make each separate day as a separate life. To my understanding, Seneca is counseling us to take as much care of our days as with our lives. It's so easy to waste a day, right? I've done it with the best and the worst of them. And right now, here in June, in Rhode Island, where I am today, the days have been glorious and long and getting longer for a few more weeks. And it's possible you can hear the peepers and bullfrogs in the pond behind our house. They are very, very loud. So I was speaking to a woman who booked herself into my calendar. And did you know you could do that? You can just book yourself right into my calendar through my website. Well, anyway, this woman wanted to speak with me because she wants to do plant-based coaching, but she hasn't started yet. She received her certification through Howard Jacobson's excellent WellStart Health Coach Training Academy, and we spoke for about an hour. And she explained to me that she's thinking maybe she should start her coaching business in September or maybe next January, when people are typically making those seasonal changes in their lives, in their schedules, in their eating habits, and their lifestyles. And can you guess what I advised? I encouraged her to start now, of course, now, right away. No, I did not tell her to spend a bunch of money or print business cards or get a web developer or a video producer, but I encouraged her to start any way she could right now. Pick one free platform, identify the people you want to help, and start. No matter how intelligent, educated, prepared, or energetic you are, no matter how gifted you are, you must make decisions today to build the life you want 3, 4, or 5 years from now. Even next year, you need to make decisions today. And they don't all have to be huge decisions. In fact, I think consistent, small decisions are the key. Because we never really know ahead of time which of those decisions turns out to have been, the big one or the big ones, the life-changing decisions. Start making decisions today, not tomorrow, not 2 months from now, not in September or January. Every single day you wait means waiting on the life you want. And if you keep thinking about what the first step should be, or waiting to take that first step, you just keep waiting. The first step, it almost never feels comfortable, right? It will for sure not seem to be enough. And your brain will tell you that there's got to be a better time. Maybe when work and life aren't so busy, or there's more money saved up, or you've read a few more books, or done more research, or feel more comfortable. But the only way your life will ever be any different at all, a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, is if you take a step today. If you make a decision today. We talked a couple of weeks ago about how planes are off course constantly during their flights. They have to be course corrected all the time. But you can't course correct and learn the skills of the person you would like to be 4 or 5 years from now if you aren't en route. You just can't learn what future you knows that you want to be in 5 years by waiting to start, by waiting to make decisions. What were the most life-changing decisions you've made over the past 5 years, or 15 years, or even 5 decades? Were they relationships that you started, or those you completed? Were they the skills you learned and practiced, or the ones you didn't keep up with, or skills you thought about but didn't make time for, at least not yet? Were they the places that you went, or the places you avoided, the questions you pursued or postponed? What were those life-changing decisions? Were they the purchases you made, the things you sold, the challenges you took, the dares you laughed off, the people you served, and the people who you allowed to serve you? These are the constant daily decisions that change the course of your life, of my life, of every life. So if there is a future you that calls to you, a way of living or showing up in the world that speaks to you, whatever that is, your career or your skills, your fitness, your relationships. If there's a way you would like to be living or working in, say, 3 or 4 or 5 years, I'm encouraging you, just like I encourage my clients, to start today. You in 5 years, for example, you on June 1st, 2026. What do you know in 2026? What skills do you have? What do you know how to do? What advice do you have for the you here today? Don't laugh. It's so valuable. It is so valuable to take a bit of time regularly to check in with your future self. My clients learn so much with that exercise. I've learned so much with that exercise because without creating some belief in the future, some connection or a relationship with that self in the future, it's so easy for our brains to just talk ourselves out of it, to give up in advance, to tell ourselves, we don't really know how. We're overwhelmed right now and we're confused by all those choices. There is a secret weapon that works against those really useless feelings of confusion, of overwhelm, and don't know. And it's so simple. Start. Start now. Start small. Where you are, with what you know and what you have. But you say, but Michele, how do I know what the future me looks like? I can't just make the future up. But you can. And we do. We always do. We make it all up all the time. I don't actually know if I'm going to live through the day, but I'm still recording this podcast. We don't know anything about the future, really. But some of us still get married, start new jobs, have babies, apply to graduate school, take out 15 or 30-year mortgages, start piano lessons, join gyms, plant tomatoes or oak trees. We just decide. We just decide that we're going to move forward as if things like marriages, houses, gardens, and university degrees are going to work out. As if oak trees are going to get tall. We just make up the part about it's going to work out. I don't know anything about the future, but I just decide. You don't know anything about the future. You just decide to move forward. So Netflix is fine, but does it move you forward? Researching and scrolling on the web, sure, it can be useful if it's in service of your goals and your future, as long as it's not a place to hide and avoid and practice that you don't know enough yet. If you have a dream, a 5-year dream or a 1-year dream, you really can't afford to skip today. You need to use today. Believe me, when I tell you how many of us miss out on our goals for no better reason than we forgot. We forgot to do something towards those goals. We got busy waiting for the right time or the perfect situation or the correct season or the optimum program or the enthusiastic partner or the expert advisor. And in general, all those things start to show up, but you need to show up first. I know it will seem like not enough, but this is the compound effect we've talked about before here on the podcast. Compounding interest in money, I know you understand. That was the topic in episode 12. Are you compounding the problem? Episode 12. The compound effect increases what you want if you regularly make additions to your life, but it also increases what you don't want if you're not careful. So we want to let the compound effect work for you, for your life, for your goals. How to do that? Just keep investing in yourself consistently. Use your time consistently for your goals, even if it's not that much. And really, really, trust me on that one, showing up a little bit, even a little bit, every day, investing in your knowledge base, your skills, learning about your goal, investing in your social network, in the in-person networks or the online networks, both. Asking someone who does what you want to do, learning about people who need what you would like to provide. You know, in the life coaching world, there's this very excellent advice for all new coaches, which is meet people, tell them you're a coach, make offers to help them. 3 simple things. And I'd like to suggest that no matter what it is that you are thinking you want to do, say you have rental properties, meet people, tell them you have rental properties, make offers to help them find rentals. And if you're a musician, meet people, tell them you're a musician, make offers to share your music with them. If you write books, if you make art, if you make food, if you grow vegetables, if you make websites, whatever you do, even if you are just beginning, meet people. Tell them what you do and make offers to help them, to serve them, to entertain them, to feed them, to teach them. Does it sound too simple? I get it. So if you're right now thinking you have a plan, any plan, a goal or an idea, but you don't know where to begin, you don't know when to begin, and you don't know how to begin, what am I going to say, right? I'm going to say it. Begin right here, right now, with what you've got. It doesn't go to waste. What you learn will not go to waste. And notice I didn't say go out, buy new clothes, electronics, leave your job, abandon your family. Get small and get consistent. Spend the next 8 weeks growing your commitment to show up every day a little bit. Every day, understanding your goal a little bit more. Making a little bit more time for your new practice or business or service every day for 8 weeks. Have you ever trained for a race, maybe, or done a program like Couch to 5K? So you lace up your shoes, you walk, you run a little, you show up, right? You show yourself that you can rely on yourself. And bit by bit, that consistency is enough. It's sufficient. Same with whatever goal you've got. Start now. Protect a small part of every day as if it were your life. Because it is. This is your life today. Show yourself that you can count on yourself. Develop your commitment muscles, your problem-solving skills, your mindset. Practice being future you. You know, sometimes we look at other people who have what we think we want, and it seems like it just happened for them, right? Or we think they're special unicorns or privileged by birth, nature, or fortune. But in virtually all cases, that is more of an illusion than a reality. It's a thought your brain is offering you and kind of protecting you, right? It's offering you that thought so that you don't pursue it so you don't get disappointed. Your brain wants to talk you out of future you. Get back in bed. Get back on the couch. Future you with the goal you want doesn't just happen. You build her. You create him. Bit by bit, today and every day, you built the day you have now with the decisions you've been making every day for years. The parts you like and the parts that you aren't so crazy about. Me too. You build your future the same way with the decisions you make today. Don't kick that down the road. Start. Let even the smallest positive, proactive decisions start compounding, because believe me, the choices we make to hide, to avoid, to complain and argue and wait and stay in confusion or resentment, those all compound as well. If you're thinking you don't know where to start and you're overwhelmed and confused, I've got you. I've got you. Let's spend the next 60 days or 8 weeks getting you on track, making daily, small, compounding steps to move you towards your goal. And remember, it's not just the goal that's amazing. It's who you get to become every day on your way to that goal. Any goal. You get to become the kind of person who shows up for themselves, who invests in themselves, who takes the opportunity to use this one chance at life to see what's possible. To become someone whose every separate day is treated as preciously as their whole life. So book yourself into my calendar or email me. And yes, I'm hoping my email's working now. That was quite a thing last week. I don't know if you heard about it, but my business email crashed. And that wasn't good. But anyway, we've learned a lot since then. And of course, you can always find me no matter what at Vedge Your Best on Instagram or Facebook or micheleolendercoaching.com. I'm pretty easy to find. The links are in the show notes, and we can make time to speak about your next 60 days and how they can change your life. Vedge Your Best podcast production, music, and editing by Charlie Weinshank. Thanks, Charlie. Before you go, it would mean so much to me and the Vedge Your Best team if you would hit subscribe, leave us a 5-star review, or share with someone you think might be interested. Something about algorithms, it helps bump us up a little in the rankings, and that's the best way to help others find the podcast and for us to find our audience. So, until next week, make it easy and veg your best.